What was your practice? Was it a general wide practice at that time?
Well, when I first started, I used to get these briefs from what they call the public solicitor, who would pay you 13 guineas a day to appear in the quarter sessions, as it was called now, the district court in its criminal jurisdiction. You very seldom had a solicitor, but if you did have one who was an alcoholic, this is a long time ago, and the public solicitor's office was terribly under-financed. But if I got one of those briefs for 13 guineas a day, now invariably the client was in jail, so, and I could never get a solicitor to go out to the jail, and generally the brief would come on Friday and the case would be on Monday. So I drove out to Long Bay, and then I had to convince the corrective services officers at Long Bay to let me in, which I had to do. The only way I could do that was I'd produce the brief to them, so they'd reluctantly get the client out of the jail and or the cell, and I'd have a conference with them.
How did that feel as a raw young barrister to be meeting some of these hardened characters out of the jails?
Yes, well, particularly the murderers. It's funny sitting opposite someone, they would put you in a cubicle who was charged with murdering someone. But it was tremendous experience because it gave me a chance to address juries, and 9 times out of 10 the client was guilty anyhow, so they were expecting to go to jail. The judges were always pretty hard. Some of them treated you as a nuisance, interfering with the administration of justice in the district court. Not all of them, but some of them did.
Did you take that personally ever, or were you able to ride over it?
Well, that was the good experience, of course. I had the advantage of the cross-examination, dealing with judges who looked upon you as a nuisance, and relating to juries. And I had a fair amount of success with juries because, although, obviously I would never dream of talking down to them, but I think having grown up with working class people, or with working class families, as Mr. Rudd would call them, there was a certain equality. I've read comments in the paper about juries saying, "Oh, the barrister talked down to us." Well, some barristers may do that unconsciously because they've always lived in the higher realms. Well, they were really great days because I had the experience of the cross-examination and the police. The verbal wasn't quite unknown those days, and the juries, and it was very exhilarating. I actually loved it.
Quite a rough and tumble atmosphere?
Oh, absolutely, yes, yeah. Some of the things that judges would say, that, nowadays, if a judge said anything like that, there'd be a new trial and an absolute second, but they'd... there was one case where, this wasn't a case I was in, but a barrister in the court next to me told me about it, that judges hated barristers using expressions from American TV, which was coming into vogue in those days. And barrister was appearing before this judge on a larceny charge, and he said, "Well, Your Honour, my client will take the stand." To which His Honour's replied, "Well, he might as well, he's taken everything else." You could never imagine that today, can you?